Good evening, America, and welcome to this special edition of Cross Country in Moscow, Idaho. Tonight, we are in front of the Moscow Police Department, and you may be asking why. It's been about 3 weeks since the horrific stabbing death of 4 college students at the University of Idaho. 3 weeks since we lost Zayna, Maddie, Kaylee, and Ethan. 3 weeks, and still the police have no suspect or person of interest. The community has been left in limbo, left with more confusion and more questions. We are on the hunt for answers for them. Moscow deserves answers. The students of the university deserve answers. These 4 young, innocent victims deserve answers, and so do their families. So let's start there. Joining me now on set, the parents of Kaylee.
Can you guys hear my mic? It's been a while since I've done this, so. Mic check, mic check. Yeah, you can hear? Good.
Gonzalez, Christy and Steve Gonzalez. Thank y'all so much for being with me. You guys have been so transparent and strong for the public. Christy, you called the person that did this the boogeyman.
Yeah.
What did you mean by that?
It's literally like what nightmares are made of. Like when you're a little kid and you think of the boogeyman.
So just to quickly give you guys some background, I had to get on and start doing this case again. There's just so many unbelievably bad theories out there that aren't based on anything concrete or logical or on video. And I came out now basically to try to set the record straight on a lot of stuff and post you guys my theory. You're welcome to poke holes in it. We'll have a call in afterwards. I'll put up a StreamYard, and if you want to come on and debate or you want to express an opinion after I get done, that'll be totally fine. And yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a quick timeline. We're going to start off with this video. It just, it shows the parents and basically a little background on this case, and then we'll methodically go through an entire timeline from basically when Hudson Lindlow died right up to now. And we're going to base that on a lot of the video from the food truck, the CCTV video. It's a pretty tight timeline. I think you guys are going to enjoy this.
That's just how I feel. Like that's just the horrific details of everything. Them just having a good time, going home and going to bed, and that's happening to them.
Your best friend crawling into bed.
Just crawling in bed.
Every
and
girl
the
in
boogeyman
America
comes.
knows what that's
The
like.
boogeyman doesn't, meet you at McDonald's. I mean, the boogeyman comes and snatches you out of your bedroom.
Steve, we've been talking. I've been talking to folks in the community. You said something that stuck with me. You said, until this person is caught, you can't.
Ethan and Xana didn't come back until, I have it on my timeline. It was about 1:30ish that they got back, but they were at the frat house up until that point. And so we'll go through everything. We'll go through all the phone calls and everything.
Sleep in your bed.
No, I can't just lay in my bed and do nothing. That's not the way I raised my family. That's not the way I raised my girls and my son. You don't be a victim. You stand up for yourself and you do everything in your power to make sure people hear you. And they're gonna hear Kaylee. They're gonna hear Maddie. They're gonna hear these.
The other two as well.
Yes.
All of them.
I'm careful saying anything about them because I need to be careful because I can't speak on somebody else's child. But these 2 girls, I'm not trying to be a glory hound, but these 2 girls, I'm going to do what I can do. And we're not being victims. We're going to fight. We're going to figure out how to make sure that we hold everybody, accountable, and we keep eyes and attention on this and get this thing resolved.
Steve, you have made it very clear to our audience that you are supportive of law enforcement. You support the investigation. But recently, I've been watching and talking with you, and you're getting frustrated. What does that frustration come from, sir?
They put certain people between you and the officers that are making things happen. And those people are like lawyers, and they don't want to say anything, and they don't have the guts to come up and be alpha and be like leaders and say, hey, we might say something that's wrong, we're going to take that hit. So the
Yes,
officers,
JW, it
they
was
look me
confirmed.
straight in their eyes. The lead detective looked me in his eyes. I have no doubt he's working as hard as he can, but somebody isn't communicating. There's nothing being released. It seems like the
I agree, JW, and hopefully when I present my timeline here, you guys will see that everything fits together perfectly, and hopefully we can get rid of some of these crazy psychics that are going around and saying all kinds of weird stuff. So I think if we can stick to the facts, stick to the videos, use some logic, I think we can start to hunt down the right rabbit hole.
they're trying to suppress the story. We want to put rewards out there, like, don't do that. Yeah, I get it. Your town doesn't want to have reward posters posted all over when you come and you do your rush. You're not going to get a lot of students if they see those things. But this community is not going to heal until this guy's pulled off the streets. It ain't going to happen. Think it through. It's not going to happen. He has to be off the streets. We all are working for the same thing.
When was the last time y'all?
I'll stop it there. I think that gives enough context of, you know, just how much pain these parents are going through. All right, so we're going to dive right in. So this is Hudson Lindlow. This kid died April 30th, 2022. So this was last year, April 30th. This was the day after or the night of a sorority party that was attended by basically all the characters we have here involved. You can quickly just read this, but I've got a couple more. University of Idaho student from Boise found dead in Paradise Creek in Moscow. He's found at approximately 11:28 a.m. Sunday near College Ave, according to a news release. And I'm actually going to go, here's another one, same thing. Sunday morning, boom, boom, boom. So this is something we can confirm. We know it's true. And here is some of the information. So this is the sorority Delta Tau Delta held at 90th annual ball. Xana, Maddie, Jake, Showalter were there. Hudson's body was found the next morning in the creek right outside Greek Row. Hudson's death was ruled an accidental drowning. And so once I show you guys this, you're going to go, come on, why did this guy get kicked out? Or why did this guy accidentally drown? This is a little bit more on this article. This is a actual, look at that, boom, boom. This is the cross or memorial where his body was actually found. And then you guys are going to get to see a little bit of map time here. I guess I'm going through this quicker than I thought. So this is that actual bridge. And I'll just go back to the screenshot. You can see this bends around the corner. And then this is where he died. So from that video, there's the bend in the road. So this creek, I mean, it's not even a foot deep. How does a 20-year-old male die in a little tiny creek like that? So it's just very suspicious. And I'll get into why I think this is important as we move along here. This is basically, I think, one of the things that Maddie could have told Adam. And we'll just play this video here. So if you hear that right there, he says, they're going to get you girls for this. You know that. I told Adam everything. This is another one that was a little bit more. So this is the Adam Lauda character. This is his Twitter account. This is them playing with the dog. This is at the house that's just next door. Anyway, you can see they get along with the dog. That's all great. This right here is Adam Lauda. This right here is Jack Decor. They're all part of the same fraternity. This was just something that quickly came up. This was Ethan's last Venmo payment was to Jack Katovich at 3:30 in the morning. Now the 3:30 is a really important number, and I'm just gonna go back to my timeline. So my timeline has got everything from the start. So this is when Hudson Lindlow died. Now we're getting into the Venmo payment. I think that's also very important. Ethan sent friend Jack Katovich money just prior to the killing. Sister sent money day before killings with note 3:30 a.m. Jack was the first donor to Ethan's GoFundMe for only $6. I think that we need to start looking at suspects associated to the Sigma fraternity. This is him again here.
With Maddie, 1 second. Let me turn the volume up on this phone here.
People want to be dumb.
So this is the phone call for the disturbance way back in the year, and this is Maddie on the phone. These are two Sigma brothers that are actually at her house while she's not there. I just kind of wanted to show the relationship that the Sigma guys are always over there, right? JD and Adam, they're part of a different fraternity. Their house is next door, but at the same time, it seems like the Sigma guys are always over here.
All right, can you hear me, Maddie?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Do you live at 1122 Queen Street?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So, hey, the reason that we're here is that we received a noise complaint of loud music, partying. Okay. Once we approached the house, people started running away. They left a bunch of alcohol behind. We're not even coming for alcohol. We're coming for the noise complaint. And then we sat here for approximately 10 minutes trying to knock on the door. No one would come to the door until these two gentlemen came down and actually answered the door. So right now, if I can, I would like to collect your information, your name, number, your date of birth, and I'm guessing, and I want your current address at also as well, okay?
Yeah, sounds good. I'm so sorry about that.
It's okay. So let me go ahead. And what's your first name? Maddie?
Could be maybe.
And how do you spell that, Maddie?
My legal name is Madison. It's Madison.
What's your middle name, Madison?
May, May.
Okay. What's your last name?
Mogen, Mogen.
Mogen?
Yep.
Okay. What's your date of birth, Madison? Okay. And what's your current address?
1122 King Road.
Okay.
I'm a Sigma.
And are you a student at U of I?
Yep.
Okay.
I will graduate with a bachelor's. I'm still getting my master's.
All right, Madison. So here's the deal. Okay. They were.
No one lives here that we were just. Yeah, they were here. They went to a party. This would not be the first party I've ever gone to with people who live here. Yeah, and just let people stay. Why they do that, I don't know. To me, that was stupid. It happens. They were pretty
Guys just really enjoying opening up these Trulies.
Yeah, we'll go let them know. And then make sure. Just let them know I'm not going to stand out here and wait for them to come out and give them my keys or anything like that. But in the same term, tell them not to leave with alcohol. Yeah. That's the first way you're going to get us.
All right. Well, that just basically what I was going to show in this video was just the two guys that were there. They were Sigma Chi, and I thought that was important. Now, this next video, this is the car in question. Everybody is all bent out of shape, trying to determine if this car is actually white or not. When I look at this video, I think it could potentially be a white car, but at the end of the day, I don't think it really matters all that much. I think that Maddie's phone, when it stopped trying to call Jack at 2:52, that the murders happened literally from 2:52, 2:53 to probably just 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't think that if we go back and we look at her phone calls, so she got back home at exactly 1:56. They arrived home. Their first call to Jack D was at 2:26. And look at all these phone calls, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus this one, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 phone calls. They got home at 1:56, but they didn't start calling Jack D until 2:26. Now, I think that's really important, because if whatever they told Adam as they were leaving the corner bar at 1:30, right here, this is when they leave the bar, why wouldn't they have called Jack right away after they knew that he'd been told or whatever? They waited a full hour before they do anything. Now, right, everyone can say they might have been really hungry, they didn't have time, there was people around them, they didn't want to talk. I don't believe that. I think what happened is Xana and Ethan were already at home when they walked in the door at 1:56. I think that Xana and Ethan, here's the time they arrived, 1:45. So I think that when they got back home, they might have already had a couple people with them. And so if there was already 5, 6, 7 people there already, I think there was an argument that broke out right after they got home. The girls walk in the door, Ethan and Xana are there. Whatever Maddie had said to Adam, and let's assume that the guys that were in there are Sigma people that were at the party with Ethan and Xana earlier. I think that once Kaylee and Maddie realized that there was something serious going on downstairs, Kaylee might have gone up to her room to call Jack. Jack lives right next door. And I think now it might be time to do a little bit of map time. Okie dokie. Oh, wow. I'm all twisted here, guys. Sorry about that. I'll get there. So this is the Sigma Chi house right here. This is Maddie's house. Pardon me, Maddie's house right here. And this is where Adam and Jack D live, right over here. So I think that the girls were calling Jack because he lived close, not because they were trying to get to him to say sorry for what we said at the bar. I think this was out of fear for their lives. I think that whatever was going down on the second floor here between a bunch of frat boys and Ethan was so serious that Kaylee went up to the room first, and then Maddie came up afterwards, and that's why we see all these phone calls. And I think that right at this time, you can see Kaylee and Maddie, they're both calling. This is when they're really fearful for their lives, right here. Promise you. And then here, they might have taken away Maddie's phone, and then Kaylee got one more phone call in. So I think that phone call was to get Jack D, who lives right here, to get him to come over and help. And I'm going to show us some videos that'll go into, there was a lot of big boys that lived at this house. So a house full of frat guys is probably safer than calling 911, because I know that question is going to come up. Well, why didn't they just call 911? You've seen those police. They literally run around and just give out citations for having open alcohol. Okay, so that explains the car. So whether this is a white Elantra or not, I know a lot of people are really hung up on that, and that could just be Adam driving back from the bar. And I found out today that Adam was not the bartender. That being the bartender thing was just one of the things I think their lawyer had said, but everybody has just taken it and they've just run with it. He is not the bartender. So if anybody tries to tell you that Adam is the bartender, It's a load of crap. Adam plays basketball and he's going to school. Doesn't make sense, and it's not logical that he's the bartender. So don't let any other people tell you that. This is where this case breaks down. These are the simplest things. We've got video camera from the grub truck. We've got the CCTV footage. We've got 2 police body cams at virtually the moment these murders happen. So let's assume Kaylee and Maddie's phone is completely dead at 2:52. That gives these guys 20 minutes to basically appear here. So I think these murders happened in literally 15 minutes. And this is the guys, after they've murdered them, walking down that path.
All right.
See how one of these guys is really tall? I believe one of these guys is one of the basketball players. So one of the basketball players at Sigma with Adam. Adam calls one of his buddies that he plays basketball with to tell them what's happening. And I think this relates back to what could she have told them? I think she could have told them basically how that Sigma Chi kid died. I think that's what she told Adam. And so that Hudson Linlow, he was a pledge at Sigma. And for him to die, it could have something to relate to the sorority. It could have something that relates back to the Sigma guys. I don't know. But I think what happened is these Sigma guys found out what was said, and I think they went and took care of business. That's just my personal thought. I'm not accusing anyone. I have no proof. I'm just saying it's the only thing that makes logical sense. And I go back to what Maddie could have said. She could have said something about Jack Decor, but you know, if she related that maybe Maddie was cheating on Jack or something for like the last year, I don't think that is enough to warrant 10 phone calls at 3 o'clock in the morning. It just doesn't. And the fact that they waited an hour, like if they were really that concerned, they would have called probably right after they left the bar and said, hey, I got to talk to you. I'm sorry, or something. They didn't start calling until they had gotten home and were sitting down for almost a half an hour. So something happened in that half an hour. And so that's what I'm trying to stress here. And then I do believe this is 4 people, and this could be just any random 4 people.
Get you on your way, okay? All right. So
but there's definitely 4 people that walk past. And if you notice, they were walking rather quickly, and they were all in single file. It wasn't like they were in any other. It just does. The only thing that makes sense is that they had just gotten out of there. Just let me zoom around here. Hopefully you guys don't get too dizzy. Got to go up a little bit more. They walked down this pathway right here. And they walk right past. Right? This is where that cop car was. It's parked right here. They came straight down from here. Now, I know there's other apartments up there, and there's holes in this theory to a point. But if Kaylee and Maddie made 10 phone calls that night, and they all stopped at 2:52, this timing window is going to be very tight. And it's, I think, honestly, quite lucky that there's actually video, video evidence. So I guess I wanted to just stress that.
all right.
And you can see there's 4 people walking across really quickly. This part I was going to go into Jack D, but I don't think it's that important. This was interesting.
Video, seeing the Uber driver dropping them off.
Yes.
You've checked your phone records. You know,
Yes.
timestamps what
Yes.
time they got home.
Yeah.
It's not exactly what police are saying, right?
Right. It's not 1:45.
Kaylee and Maddie were picked up from their home at 1122 King around 10:15. It's about a 5-minute drive down. So they arrived to Corner Club around 10:20, which is different than what was released at 10. We know that Kaylee called for an Uber at 1:45. He arrived at 1:49.
And I just want you guys to all see that I've got this all confirmed in everything. Picked up from their house. They arrived at the Corner Club. It only takes about 5 minutes to get from either or.
Got in the car around 1:50. It's about a 5-6 minute drive. They arrived home at 1:56.
There you go, 1:56.
Is it frustrating that your timeline is based on timestamps from videos and phone records, and their timeline doesn't exactly match yours?
I just feel like there's a reason they're just putting it out, the estimate. I don't know, because they do have that information from us, and they've asked us where we have gotten that information, and we have concrete backing. She put it together.
It could be conflicting stories. We just don't know. This is the information that I stand behind.
I think that when they say 1:45, I think they're kind of referring to the whole group arriving approximately 1:45. I believe that maybe Ethan and Xana, and I don't know, may have gotten home around that time. And then the girls, obviously 1:59-ish is shortly after. So they're just kind of grouping that the group arrived home around 1:45-ish. But they were not together. And we don't know anything about Ethan and Xana. We do know about Kaylee and Maddie.
And some of the time stamping afterwards, that your sister was making calls, right?
Mm-hmm.
She was making calls as late as almost 2:00.
Yes.
Yeah.
How do you know that?
So she was on my mom's cell plan. So
We pulled my cell plan.
on Sunday, I was able to pull those cell records.
And you could see that she was calling somebody out.
Yeah.
Does it seem like they may have been involved, or does it seem like
No.
No, not at all. Kaylee had no shame in kind of power calling. So it fits Kaylee.
Yeah, no. Yeah. And we know who she was calling. And this person is, and this person was asleep, unfortunately, was not getting the calls. And it was, I don't know, a few calls for half an hour. She called him a couple times, but no, it was not, we do not believe she was calling him for help. We believe that she was just calling him to come over. If Kaylee was in imminent danger, her or Maddie, they would have called 911. They would not have been calling this person.
Yeah.
And that was
So
around 2.
Yes. So at that time, we
Started
believe
around 2:30.
Yeah, we believe that the girls were just fine.
So from those phone records, it looks like the girls may have been alive around 2:30.
2:30 is what the last call.
No, the last call is shortly before 3 a.m.
Short. Yeah, that's right. 2:50 something.
2:52 for both of them.
Yeah.
It's now been 5 days.
Right.
And still no killer, still no motive. How are you guys holding up?
And so the motive then becomes that those frat guys would get basically convicted of killing that kid Hudson, and that's the motive for shutting them up, because those are the people that are spouting off, apparently potentially Maddie, saying something about that stuff.
Yeah, I think it's different for everyone. They obviously are, they're the same people to us, but they were different to all of us. To my mom, it was a daughter. To my aunt, they were nieces. To me, they were sisters. And we all had different, very complex and amazing relationships with both of them. So it's going to feel different.
Empty.
Yeah, for all of
Kaylee was
us.
just home. She just left on Friday. She left on Friday morning to go to a Pi Phi party, and she just bought a brand new Range Rover, and she contemplated all day long back and forth whether she should go home, and because she just really wanted to show it to Maddie, and some other friends and whatnot. And she's just like, Mom, I'm going to go. I'm going to go to the.
So I think now is a good time to interject. There was Steve Goncalves was talking about how one of them got it worse than all the rest. And that might have just been a mix up in communication between the officers or the coroner or something. In my theory, I think that it was Ethan that might have gotten it the worst. Just strictly for the fact that blood that was seen on the outside of the foundation, that's coming from Xana's room, which is probably where Ethan was, right? And so for that much blood to come all the way down that wall to the foundation, I think that plays a really big role, because if they were just stabbed in their bed, there wouldn't be blood just gushing out all over the place. So I think that's important to bring up at this point, just because, and I'm sure Ethan probably fought back even harder, and that's why I have to eliminate Showalter, because Showalter's a pretty small guy. And then I also have to eliminate pretty much JD, because, I mean, the police, I think, have eliminated him. He lived right next door. Sure, he might have been heartbroken, but I think that it wasn't to the point where he was like, this is his last chance and he has to have Maddie or nobody else can, and then go through and wreck out the whole house. It just feels like this was targeted. I feel it was targeted towards Ethan, and it could have been something that Ethan had told Xana, something that Xana then told Maddie, and then Maddie told Adam, and then it's getting back to the frat that, woof, here's the information. We got to go take care of business, boys. And so that's why I think we see the 4 people walking past right after what I believe were the murders. I can't fathom that after 2:52, these girls have just recently made 10 phone calls. They don't make another phone call. Sure, they might have gone to sleep, potentially.
The Pi Phi party, and Maddie's got to see this, my new ride. And I'm like, for sure. Like, I mean, it was nice. Right. It was really nice. She just bought it that day, all her own. And I talked to the girls on, she had a fun time on Friday night, both of the girls, and then both of the girls texted me on Saturday.
So you were talking to them Saturday afternoon?
Yes, Saturday afternoon. They sent me pictures of themselves, and Kaylee called me around 2:30ish on Saturday afternoon. And then I was texting Kaylee just randomly on Sunday. And right about those, when I look back at my times that I was texting Kaylee, the police were swarming.
So you were trying to get a hold of her on Sunday morning?
Yeah, just random talking. Yeah, just, hey, what's going on? What did you guys do last night? We talked a lot. And she was supposed to be home on Tuesday. She said she'd be home on Tuesday.
This is a new video that just came out today, and this, I just want to quickly show. This is just a house.
The 874.
So this is one of the guys that lives in this house with Jack and Adam. So you can see there's a lot of big boys around here. And the reason I wanted to show this video was just for that fact, to just say, I know that the mom and the sister just said, well, it wasn't because they were in immediate danger or anything like that. But given that this house is so close, and if there was a big fight that was already happening, there's enough big boys in this house that they could come over and handle whatever disturbance is going on.
1856. My bad.
What's the area code on
that? Area code is 949. Okay. So it's 949 874 6115.
Sweet, thank you. You bet.
And so these officers, because they were in the area for a noise complaint, they ended up going over to Maddie and Kaylee's house as well. So this is just them walking around. And this shows just how easy it is to get up this embankment.
No one's coming to the door.
And then once we get to the top here, you can see like there's no stairs on the back way. Remember the ladder that was leaning up against the house? It is possible that ladder could have been used to access the top floor. They could have leaned it up against here and then jumped over. And I think that the dog, there was a little dog bed sitting right here. they might have been able to get in through going up on the balcony as well.
Yeah, I took one look at that speaker. I said,
You get a lot of guys trying to argue private property access.
the way I've always done it, and correct me if I'm wrong, it was the way I did it there. Find one responsible, have everyone else hold them accountable. If I got to come back here, they're getting the ticket. Because then it's on them to nip everyone else in the bud.
Yeah, and if they don't come out,
And so this video was also, it was made just, I think, just after she had moved in.
we just contact landlords. Or we come back the next day or the next time you work.
Yeah.
And just note that lack of cooperation does not go a long ways with us.
Yeah.
They treat the police out here so horribly, right? Maybe we're just nicer people in Canada. I don't know. But for me to let a cop stand out there for that long, that's crazy. So you can see the date right here. 08/16/22. Hi, Silver. No, I don't believe that Idaho has the ability to put out campus police. These are
Downstairs
real
to the
police.
back deck. Interesting.
You can see they're carrying guns and stuff, right? So.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Is this your place?
Yeah.
Perfect. You are here.
I assume noise.
Noise, yeah.
Yeah.
Big speaker right there.
Yeah.
Nothing against having a party. Once neighbors start calling in, they have an issue.
Fair.
You go to school?
Yeah.
Okay. What year?
Senior.
Senior. Okay. So I'll tell you the same thing I told them. You probably know the drill, right?
Actually, no.
Oh, okay. So usually,
People are making note of these wristbands on his wrists, and I think it's just part of.
at least for me, I'll give you a verbal warning.
Okay.
Once I have neighbors calling in, please just too loud. You're disturbing the peace.
Yeah.
Nothing against having parties. Nothing against having people over who are overage to drink. But again, once we start disturbing the neighbors, then we've got an issue.
Yeah.
Always take it as up to 300.
Yeah, somewhere around 300, 400 bucks.
It's a pretty expensive ticket. I don't want to give that to you.
All right. That's basically all we need to show there. Oh, here's another party. And this I think this one was more to show the
So everyone here's trespassing?
Well, no one's here that's trespassing, but no one that lives here is here right now.
So where'd they go?
They're just not here. I have no clue where they went. No clue.
So you guys just throwing a party in their house at this
They were
time?
here at one point. They're not here right now. I just searched all the rooms.
They left and went over to some other party, and everyone is about to go over to another party.
Okay. Who does live here? What are their names?
I am actually not sure. I live across the street. I just came over. I haven't drank a drop.
Male, female?
I think it's mainly females. I think it's like 4.
What sorority are they affiliated with?
I don't know.
I don't
Yeah, you
I don't
do.
Know if they're, I don't know if they're
I
associated
don't.
with it. I don't know.
I guarantee you they're associated with the sorority. As many of them are living here. It's an off-campus sorority house. I've been a cop for 22 years here. I'm not stupid. Don't play dumb games with me. I would rather deal with this as a noise complaint than getting a hold of the Greek council and the Greek board and all of that and the dean of students and playing all these stupid fucking games. All I want to do is deal with the noise complaint. Because I guarantee you there's a lot of underage drinking because they left their alcohol behind.
Do you want us to try and get a name or a phone number?
Please,
and
if
we
you
can
could.
call someone?
We just need to talk to somebody who lives here because otherwise I have to be under the assumption you guys are unlawfully entered because no one who lives here is here.
Okay.
Right?
We'll go.
So I need to verify that there was a party here. Now everyone left, so thank you.
We'll be right back.
Thanks,
Sorry,
guys.
We're not trying to make your life.
I understand. I just letting you know this is how it's going to play out. I'm not going anywhere until I talk to somebody who actually lives
Just
there.
no one's on the
Sweet.
for us. That way we can get some sort of communication between us and them.
No one that lives here is here right now. So.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I do.
All right, can you hear me, Maddie?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Do you live at 1122 Queen Street?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So, hey, the reason that we're here
All right. Well, we already saw that video a little bit earlier. All right, guys. Any thoughts? I can't get it out of my head that those guys running by at pretty much the time that everything happened. Right here. This is the time.
All right.
Well, I'll put up the StreamYard. You guys are welcome to call in. So yeah, I think that if we can try to look into who's at that frat and has a connection to Adam Lauda,
All right.
I think that is very critical.
All right.
They look like they're moving too. So just to reiterate what I think happened, I think that Ethan and Zanuck went back to their house. There must have been a few other people perhaps with them at that time. And then Kaylee and Maddie get home. And then there's a big altercation starting to brew. And I think that's when they first start calling Jack. Pretty quickly, then I think it even escalates. They might have taken away Kaylee's phone. And then she used Maddie's phone to call. Just trying to explain away all these different phone calls, and then we've got Maddie and Kaylee calling at exactly the same time. Like this is when everything went down right here, 2:52. And we go back to this shortly thereafter, 2:52. So 8 minutes and 12 minutes. Within 20 minutes, they're in and everything is done, and they're walking out. Charlie, I can be on Twitch. I just decided to put this on YouTube. I'm thinking of doing some gaming streaming on Twitch, actually. Good to see you, Charlie. Maybe they were underage and wanted to get past the cops quick. True, but that many people coming from some event. I mean, it's totally plausible. It's just not very logical that, let's assume the girls were killed at 2:52, 2:53. And Ethan and Xana were killed after that or before that or whatever happened. Basically, within 10 minutes, we've got a bunch of people walking past here. I don't think that if it was like a Showalter people are talking about, I think Ethan is a lot stronger than Showalter. And I think Ethan's probably as strong, if not stronger, than JD. So that eliminates those two. And I think the police have already eliminated those two as well. So where do we get back to? I think we go right back to the frat. I know people are talking about a whole bunch of different wild scenarios right now. And I wanted to get on here tonight and kind of hopefully quell a bunch of those crazy rumors. I think that if we go back and we start anchoring to actual video that we have, we've got this video here, we've got the police body cam, we've got the grub truck video. It's all pretty. We're actually pretty lucky to have that much information that we do. So all right, I'm going to cut this short, but I will have another live very soon, and I will get up and I will take questions. Hopefully this will start the conversation, and if you think I'm completely wrong, get up here and support your answers or support your theory and convince me. And I would really appreciate it. Thanks for everybody that came out tonight. I really appreciate it. It's probably not very many. 22 people. That's all right. hit the like button, and maybe a few more people will get to see this, and we can get some more people and get going on this again. Okay, appreciate it. Thanks, guys.